Hello and welcome back. So today we will be learning about Excel. Um, this is just like a little refresher for those who are coming into accounting and not familiar with Microsoft Excel. So we will be using, for the accounting class, we will be primarily using Excel as one of the programs that will help us do our calculations and whatnot. The other accounting software that we will be touching upon will be QuickBooks. But for today's lesson, I want to kind of give you a little background and refresher in Excel for those who, just to expose to exactly what is necessarily needed to know how to do the basic functions, formulas, as well as building tables. Just things that I expect for you guys to know before coming into accounting class, so you are aware and are able to get the task done. Now, on the Google Classroom, I have created a little worksheet for things that you can check mark off if you know how to do it for Excel. So these are all the necessary things that you may need to know in order to do use Excel properly in your in accounting. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. And first things first is one thing that you need to know is how to build a table. There are two ways you can build a table. You can go ahead and go to the Insert tab at the top of the window, and you can go ahead and insert a table any way you want it. Now, I'm going to start my table here on B3, so I'm going to click OK, and there we have our first little column here. Now, if you go ahead and click or drag your mouse over it, you're gonna get a black plus sign, and that's gonna allow you to drag it across, giving you more headings. And then what I can do here as well is I can also right click it and insert a row either above or below. I'm going to go ahead and click above. And what that's going to happen is it's expanding my table. Okay. Now what I can do for here as well as you can see, if I were to take the, if I were to take my mouse and put it on the table, I'm able to drag it and move it using when my mouse becomes the arrow signs. Now again, you can also come back here and you're going to notice that you can drag this down or drag it more across over. So here, this is me building my table this way. Again, these things you should be able to type in anything as you go and fill in the information as much as you want. So the difference between building this table and building a regular table, which we will dive into in a minute, is the fact that these tables have little squares in the top right corner, and what that does is it allows you to filter the information on it could sort the information, whether you want it alphabetically, you can do it chronologically, you could do sort by color. So again, it gives you basically filtering options you can. So instead of like highlighting them and be able to sort it that way, this one will do it for you automatically. Okay, so that is how you build a table using the insert table feature. Now, with this, you're more likely to forget. It's built in with pretty colors. It's already pretty much formatted for you. If you are someone who wants to build their own table from scratch, you are actually able to do that. You just, it just depends on how much information you need, as well as how many rows you need and how many columns you need for each section. So this one, I'm going to actually build my second table, which is going to be my table that I built from scratch. So first column is, I'm going to make this as number. This one will be name. This will be amount owed, and this could be discounts and total amount due. Okay, so as you can see, what I did was I typed in here here automatically, and as you notice, it is already automatically left aligned. Now what you can do is you can highlight this and you can either center them. Other things that you can do is you notice that, well, this one, it's overlapping. So one thing that I need you to know how to do is how to expand your table and or how to make the column bigger or the row width wider. So what you can do is when you go to the top of the row, as you can see, I clicked D, so it highlights the whole row. Now what I want to do is I just want to extend this. Now I can't just go like this and extend it. I have to go all the way to the top and then make sure I put my cursor, and as you can see, it becomes a cross, which you have the arrows pointing in opposite directions. If I click and drag, I'm able to adjust the width of it to whatever length I want to make it. So I'm going to make it that big, and it looks like I'm not there yet. Now what you can do is you can also double tap, and it's going to adjust it to exactly how you want it to be. So for example, amount due, which is going to be column column F, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here and I'm going to double tap it, and it's going to automatically adjust it to just enough space for you to see all the information in there. Now again, that's just a shortcut. Yes, that's a shortcut feature, so then it makes creating tables with all the informations easy to view. Now again, I can highlight this, and I can make borders on them if I want to. So in this case, I'm going to put all borders around it, and that's just going to give us a little lines to kind of separate them. Now again, that's just how you toggle those things right there. Now I'm going to show you how to be able to enter information and how that will, so how to enter information. So each cell that you're in is called a cell. And each one that you're going to be in. So for example, this one is going to be B number 15. So each cell has its own title. Now, again, how you can indicate which cell that you're in is going to be the black border around the cell. Okay, so that's going to give you direction to where you're entering in the information. Again, enter pretty much pushes you going down the whole thing. The arrow keys does exactly what it's meant for. It allows you to move around. But enter is usually the key that's most used to move, to shift your item, to shift your box into another cell. So again, I'm gonna go ahead and list this as 1, 2, and 3. So one of these features that you can do is called the fill tool, the fill handle tool. So as you can see, I want to build a sequence number. As you can see, I have 1, 2, and 3. I want to highlight all those 3. And then in the little corner, you're going to see this little triangle. It's a green triangle at the bottom corner on the right side. when you roll your mouse over there, you should get like a bolded or a thick plus sign. Once you do that, you're gonna hold and drag it to as many cells that you want the number to appear. So as you can see, it automatically filled each cell in the sequence number that I want it to be in. And I pulled it down to exactly 10. So that's cool about the filled feature. Now, if I were to only have one of the information, so again, let's say my discount was just $100, and I'm going to apply that to everybody. What you can do there is you can again, when you see this little square here, when you see your bolded cursor become a black plus sign, you're gonna hold and drag, and what's happened is because there is no sequence number, you can see that it is actually just copied that one number down. Okay, so again, in order to do a sequence, you need to kind of have the initial either 3 or 4 numbers in the sequence, and then you're able to drag down. You wouldn't be able to do it if there's only 2. It would only copy the last number that's in that sequence. So again, here we copied out everything is going to be 100. Now, if you notice, why is it just in this form? I want to see the cents as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to highlight this entire row. So you're going to highlight it by clicking and dragging. And when you go to the top, you're going to notice that you have a few things here. These are to move the decimal either to the left or to the right. So I want to move it 2 to the left. To the right, and it's going to appear the cents. As you can see, it has $100 and 0 cents. Now again, that's only applied to having numbers or things that you want to see, for example, percentages. Now, I also want it in dollar form, okay? So down here, I'm going to go ahead and make a little title here that says total. And what I want all 3 of these is to be in dollar form. Now what you can do is you can highlight them. So again, I'm going to click and drag all the way through. I'm going to highlight them, and I want to indicate that I want a dollar sign in them. Now, of course, we haven't done anything to these yet, so don't worry about that. What I want to do, I want to show you is when I make these lists of people, how it works, how to do auto sum or equal sum when you're dealing with large amounts of people. So for example, let's go ahead and type in John, Mary, Lisa, and Tim. Okay, I'm gonna only have 10 people. I only have 4 people as of right now. And let's say, for example, the amount that they owe me could be $750. It could be 250. It could be $488. And lastly, I'm going to do $842. So again, I want this in dollar form. So I want to pull this, and I want it showing the cents. Okay, so what I can do about here, if I want to make totals, right? Obviously, you can't make totals of people. But what you can do here is you can make a total amount that all these people owe me. I can do that by either highlighting them, and what you're going to notice is at the bottom of Excel, it should give you a total right here. So here, this is called the auto sum. It says average on it. Okay, I'm sorry. This one right here, so that's the average. So divided between all 4 people, that gives you a quick little average right here. Again, there's 4, it tells you here 4 people and the sum. So this is called the auto sum. So you can just highlight them and you'd get a quick amount just by looking at the taskbar of the Excel. Or what you can do is you can go ahead and insert a formula, which is called equal sum. All right, and it's important that you have the open parentheses, and you're going to click and highlight to down. I'm going to highlight all the way down to the 10th person. Okay, and then you're going to get a total, and if you notice, we put it in accounting settings. So that means this it's going to be given in a dollar format, and here's the little dollar sign, and it automatically appeared from us. So let's say we had a new person come in. His name is Dave, and now he owes us $500 more. It's going to automatically recalculate because in this formula, it includes everybody that's in here. So that's the great thing about adding more information is you're going to go ahead and it's going to fill in automatically. Now, again, you can use the fill tool to apply across. And as you can see, we had a total of 1,000 discounts. So this is a perfect example of how to use the auto sum feature. Other things that you can do is maybe I want to find the total amount due. So I want to go ahead and enter another formula. In order to start a formula, number one rule is you need the equal to activate the formula. Now, every cell that you click is called a cell reference. So I want this information, and I'm going to subtract the discount of $100, and I'm going to get a total of $650. And again, if I were to do that, I can also use the autofill, which allows me to copy this formula right here at the top. It allows me to copy this formula all the way to wherever I need it to go. So again, I'm going to fill it in for the first 5 people. And notice that every single one gets calculated to their amounts. Okay, and it's taking, so each one with the copied formula it's going to copy the exact formula that you applied above it. And this works going down in a line. Now, if you wanted to go into just only multiplying or subtracting one certain area, that's going to be a little advanced. That's going to be called absolute cell references. Again, we will not be using that for this class. That's more advanced level. So for this is good enough. So again, the formula applied across and it applied going down as well. All right, and I formatted it to have a dollar sign indicated in each one. Now, what you can do too is, let's say I want to do a little quick math, okay? If you want to do quick math, you can go ahead and apply it here. You can go ahead and do it anywhere. You can go ahead and insert it here. Remember, in order to have a formula to start, you need to have the equal sign. So I just want to say, what is 500 divided by 20, right? Again, it will give you the number immediately when you press enter. So 2 rules is you need to activate the to activate the function, you need an equal. To validate the function or to finish your equation, that's where you press enter, okay? So again, that's just being able to have those functions, but also using how to format each one and how to use the fill handle. All right. So again, the simple formulas you need to know is how to add stuff, how to subtract stuff, how to divide it, and to multiply. And then one of the more important ones is going to be a rounding formula. So again, let's go ahead and do something that has a massive number. So I'm going to do 20 divided by 3. As you can see, it's 6666666.66667, right? I want to take this and I want to make it round to the nearest penny. So what you can do is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate equal. I'm going to type in round. Okay, important that you have the open parentheses, okay? And then I'm going to enter the formula. So I want 20 divided by 3. I'm going to do a comma, right? Because that's going to say that's the formula, that's the little equation I want. After you do the comma, it's going to ask you how many decimal points you want. I want 2. And then I'm going to end it with a close parentheses, and I'm going to press enter. So here it automatically rounds the number to 2 decimal places. So it went from 66666 to now 6.67. So that is just one of the formulas that is used in accounting. Reason being is you will get tenths, millions, and thousands of a penny. And when we're dealing with accounting, especially when you're dealing with those numbers, you definitely want to round to the nearest penny, because when you owe people money, you're not going to give them 1/100th of a penny. It doesn't exist. So it's always good to use equal round for this if you plan on rounding all your answers. Okay. All right, and then so those are pretty much the formulas that you'll be utilizing as far as this class goes. Again, other features that other things that you can do is, oh, I forgot to add something in here. I can go ahead and maybe I forgot to add instead of a total. Maybe I also added like any extra fees in case they pay late. So I can go ahead and insert, and what's going to happen is it's going to insert depending on which one that you click. So I click this one. So what's going to happen is it's going to insert it on the left side. Okay? And I'm going to go undo that one. And what I want to say is, oh, okay, I forgot to include fees that these people may have forgot to pay. So I'm going to charge them a $25 fee. All right. And again, you would have to fix this formula because it wouldn't include this. So again, let's say if I forgot a person, I can always go back. I can go click the row. And if I click the row and insert, it's going to insert above the row. Okay, so be careful on which person that you're clicking or which row that you're clicking and which column that you're clicking, because it will either go the one before it, and this one's obviously going to go right above it. So you want to be careful on where you place your mouse and where you're going to insert your tables. So again, I'm going to go ahead and undo that extra row, but I'm going to keep this column here, and I'm going to apply this to everybody. So to those 5 people, and then I'm going to adjust this and say, well, this is how much they owe me. They get a $100 discount. However, they have to pay me a $25 charge for paying late. And I'm going to highlight that all the way down. It's going to recalculate my formula, including this fee right here. Now, again, this is pretty straightforward on exactly what I want. Next thing that you should be able to do is how to create multiple sheets in one worksheet. So again, this is sheet 1. I haven't named it yet, but I want to copy this table and be able to create multiple sheets with this information. So if I go down to the bottom, I see this little plus in a circle. If I click that, I get a new sheet. All right. So the first sheet, I'm just going to call it, I'm going to call it invoice number 1. Okay, and then I'm going to name this sheet. So how you name it, you double click it and you go ahead and insert the what you want to type in, and then 2 to enter it so it's solid in there. Now with that, I have invoice 1 and invoice 2. So as much as you want, you can have as many sheets as you want, as long as you press that plus sign in a circle. Now, let's say I don't need all of these, so what you can do is you can right-click it and you'd be able to delete it. If you entered information in there, it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to delete it? But in this case, we don't have any, and I made too many sheets, so I'm going to go ahead and delete them. I'm going to make this one invoice 3. So again, I noticed that, oh shoot, I had the wrong date, or I want to put table 3 because that's the most recent one. I can go ahead and click it, and what's going to happen, it's going to change your mouse, and then it's going to give you little dividers on where you want to move it. So I want to move it there and put invoice 3 first, and then invoice 1, and then invoice 2. Again, that's how you create the sheets and how you move them. Now, here's one key technique that a lot of accountants usually do is when they build their tables and whatnot. Generally, most of the tables, they all look pretty much the same. It's just different headings and different titles. If this was something that I needed to have on my other sheets, I'm going to go ahead and highlight what I need. And I'm going to go ahead and right click it, and I have the copy feature, or I can just do Control C. Now, if I copy it, what you're going to see is these little running ants, as we call them, and it's just going to go around the whole border. Now, I want to copy this into invoice number 1. Again, I want a little space around it, and I'm going to either right click and paste, or I can do Control V. And it's going to copy everything that the table has, including the formula. So all these formulas will still work, and everything in this table is there. It's all the same information. It's just moved to another worksheet. Now again, that's how you copy tables, and that's how you create multiple tables if you need it. And again, you can design it on whatever color you want. So other things that you should know as far as that is the very basic general things. How do you change the format? How do you change the color of the font, which is right here? How to change the size of the font, change the font itself. How to use the fill bucket tool. So if you want to change the top part to a specific color, you can do that. So then your table looks like an actual table. So again, those are just little simple things that you should already know as far as, learning Excel to the basics. Maybe I want it left aligned instead of the center, or maybe I want it in the middle. Again, it's preference on how you want to stylize your tables. Now, again, the last thing that is also required is also knowing how to save this file. Again, you do have a few options. If you do save it, you're going to go ahead and either save or save as. If it's a new document, you want to save as. If it's a pre-existing one, you're just going to click save. And with that, you do actually have a few options. You can either save it as an Excel worksheet. You can even save it as a PDF. It allows you to do that, and it also allows you to do various different forms of of formats that the Excel sheets can be more compatible to other places. So again, make sure you have a title and then go ahead and save that. So yes, so that is Basics Excel 101 for accounting. I hope you've recognized some of these things or learned something new. Again, if you have, that is great. And yeah, and that's it for today.